Hey, what's up, guys? You may notice I just got 300 ancient crystals. I didn't have the heart to show you what happened to Ethna, but I had a dupe that will not be named and is now crystals. And the reason for that is as follows. So we're going to go into the ancient magic shop. We're going to look at my legend runes. Look at this. Look what has happened. So, look at this number 2. One refresh. So this is a slot 1 violent rune. First of all, it's the perfect set. It has all 4 attack stats. It is missing 1% off of crit damage from being perfect. So perfect would be 6768. This is 6668. So I gotta buy it, right? Like I've talked my thought process through on this shop, and I was thinking slot 4, slot 6, things that are perfect, things that are great, things that will help you, things with innate. And then this happens and makes me question my whole thought process on everything. And I don't think I can pass this up. Like, having been rolling my event rune and being at like 13,000 points or whatever, which is not a lot for a lot of people, but for me it's quite a bit. And coming up with basically the same type of rune, not even this good, kind of shows how rare this is going to come along. I've never seen a rune like this in this game, not in that slot. So I thought what we would do is we're going to look at how good it could be. We're going to look at the pros and cons of buying it for its slot based on what else is in my inventory. And then we're going to buy it and we're going to roll it and we're going to see what happens. So here's my Swar farm, which, notice the ad. I had ad blocker on before and I felt terrible, and someone pointed out to me I'm definitely unblocked it because I use this thing all the time. Okay, so here's my slot 1 violent runes, right? This is my efficiency max. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm gonna scroll in a little bit. We're gonna zoom in just because I don't think that's super visible there. Okay, that should be more visible. So my best slot 1 violent rune is on Hathor. Its efficiency max is 99.36. It is at max efficiency because I rolled it, I grinded, all that stuff. Here's this rune. I plugged it in. It's currently at 63%, and its max is 91.84. So if you were curious what missing 1 stat on a rune like this is, it's worth about 9%, which is kind of a lot. And that's if it rolls perfectly. So that kind of gives me some pause. It doesn't have an innate. If it rolls perfectly, it's still my 6th best rune in terms of efficiency. But this is ungrinded. This is ungrinded speed, ungrinded attack. And hopefully, I won't have to mess with any of the other stats. Whatever this rolls, it's going to be really great because all 4 stats are perfect for attack. There's no, oh, it went into accuracy, it went into resist. It will go into DPS stats. So I'm pretty excited about it. So that's where this stat currently falls. If it rolls perfectly before grinds, it'll be at about 92%. Looking at some of the other things I've got going on this slot, let's scroll over. So my fastest slot 1 is this 24 grinded. So it goes 24, 22, 20. So it drops off pretty quick because a 20 is really a 16. That's not that rare. I mean, look at all these 15 down here that have been unloved so far. So if I could roll 16, it immediately is really, really nice and fast. Other things it can roll would be crit rate. My most crit rate is 21. Actually, that's a good rune. What's that on? Triana? Well, maybe she deserves it. And then crit damage, highest is 20. And then the other stat is attack percentage. My highest is 31, which is actually pretty good. This is not a terrible slot for me, which kind of gives me some pause, but this rune is just kind of so perfect. Like, this one is at 92% here. I had to gem in speed. It's got crit rate, crit damage, and attack. So it could end up very similar to this rune, and this rune does have accuracy. So, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of close, but hopefully it'll roll a little different so that I'll have options, right? Ideally it would roll massively into speed and become an instant perna rune or something like that. So I just kind of wanted to show you what this slot looks like going into this decision, and hopefully it'll turn out well. Hopefully we'll get some high rolls, maybe some double rolls into speed, quad roll. We'll take what we can get. So this is the first rune I've ever bought from this shop, and I kind of really thought about it, and I think this is worth doing. It's worth spending one of my few dupes on what could potentially be a huge upgrade for my account. So let's buy it. It hurts to spend this currency. And then we're gonna roll it and we're gonna see what happens. Oh, it hurts to spend that currency. On a slot 1, I was like, oh, it's gonna be all slots 6s and 4s, but nope, I'm a liar. I could not pass up the near perfect slot 1. So here we go. Let's see what we get for rolls. Here comes the first one. 6668 becomes 612. Okay, so we get a 1-off max crit damage roll. That's fine. Not perfect, but it's good enough. Here comes the next roll. Crit rate, ooh, a minimum crit rate roll. That's not good. I could do without another one of those. Need to avoid those minimum rolls. And it looks, well, I'm like, oh, it looks like it's gonna roll. Yeah, you can't predict that. I was gonna say it looks like it's gonna roll into one of each, but there's no way to know that. Oh, we get a speed roll. 1 off max, not bad. Another speed roll would be fantastic. But at this point, it being at 11 is good. Getting 1 speed roll gets it up into that usable range, 14, 15. So it can kind of work out for anything here. I think I'd like another speed roll, but that's kind of always in this game. At this point, I kind of wouldn't mind it avoiding attack. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility if you want to put it on a bruiser or something like that. And you know what? We're going to plug it into the optimizer in its new state and kind of see what's become of it here. So we're going to go efficiency max. It's still ways off, so I can do this while it's rolling. Okay, and we're just, so all I'm doing right now is I'm going into optimizer and I'm changing the stats so I can see what its efficiency is going to be. And then we'll take a look. So that min roll is going to hurt it quite a bit because we saw with the one missing 1 stat initially. All right, it's at 11. So speed's at 11. Crit damage is at 12. Crit rate is at 10. And attack is still at 8, and we'll change it here in a second if we need to. Come on, speed. 6 speed would be 17. That would be fantastic. Fantastic, because then I could grind the attack and the speed, get it up to 21. It would just be super flexible. So that's the optimal. The more speed rolls, the more usable. Hey, it's a speed roll. It's a, what, minimum? Because it was 11? No, it's a middle speed roll. Okay, so that's not the worst thing in the world. So we're gonna put it in at 16 speed. We're gonna save current. Okay, so that's how it turned out. 16 speed, 12 crit damage, 10 crit rate, 8 attack. So let's see what it turns out in Swarm. And here's this rune right here. Whoa! Whoa! I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me scroll in. So its efficiency max is 114. Is that, it's because I did something wrong, right? I have it on level 0, I think is the issue, right? Let's put it to level 12 and then save current. All right, now let's take a look. Aha! That fixed it. So it's now here, it's at 86%. Efficiency max is 86% because it's done rolling. So we started off at 91%, we finished at 86%. So we lost about 5% efficiency in the rolls, which isn't horrible. But the math doesn't quite make sense to me, but that's about normal. Let's see what it looks like grinded ground. So we'll assume a 4 roll here, so we'll put it at 20 speed. And I think we can safely assume a 7 roll on attack, so we'll put it at 15 attack and save current. All right, that puts the rune up to 97% efficiency. It'd be my 4th most efficient rune. And one important note is it's behind 3 runes with innates. So this would be my most efficient non-innate rune. Here's my next efficient by almost 10%. So that's pretty good. Getting 100 efficiency violent rune that you can pick its substats, pretty fantastic. And looking at that 20 speed puts it as my 3rd highest speed rune. Of course, I got to actually get to 20, right? You can't just assume 20. But looking at some of the other runes in that category, you know, it's the only one with crit rate, crit damage, attack. This is the next one. It's got accuracy. So you got to come down to here, the 88%. Very similar kind of a rune, but not quite as good. So pretty happy with the way that rolled out. It could have rolled out better, but oh my gosh, it could have rolled a lot worse. Sometimes you roll these runes and you look at them and you think, how is that even legendary? It's such a mess. So that's how it turned out. Double speed roll. Not too bad. We picked up 2 5s on the speed. It started at 6. Without 1 minimum crit roll is a bit of a bummer, but it started with such high rolls that even when it rolls off a little bit, still pretty good. So I'm going to take a quick peek into the shop again because that went great. And yeah, we'll kind of see if there's anything else. I love this shop. It's so fun. Even that attack rage rune's pretty nice. If it had, you know what, man, that's a pretty good rune. If it had crit damage also, I would grab it, but I can't risk those rolls. So let's see if we get anything else. Those are all no's. It's a nice little energy rune, but it's an energy rune. So those are all no's. Nope. It's a nice little attack rune for enhance. I mean, it's got speed, it's got attack, HP's pretty good, everything else is not great, so not really tempting. If we find another just amazing rune, we're gonna grab it because I have things, right? Oh, I'll have to sell another nat 5. This is the danger of this shop. You think you have everything you need and you just gotta sell all your nat 5s for it. If I wanted slot 2 focus HP runes, you could do worse. But yeah, I don't need that. That's an HP slot 4 Nemesis rune, but not the right stats. It's just fun. It's just fun looking at these things, I think. Ooh, there's a slot 4 Nemesis rune with 1 right stat and everything else not, so that's a no. Accuracy crit rate rune, very nice. I mean, it's got some issues, right? But it's pretty good overall. The rage rune, not horrible. Even the accuracy rune, I would be more than happy to pull these runes and roll them. I mean, you probably have to sell them in the end, but you're happy to roll them, right? These are all good to look at, but I don't think worth buying. The speed on the crit rate despair is kind of cool, but you know, you can't buy it. 9 more. Nope, nope. Crit damage with innate. It's just cool to see these. But yeah, you at the flat HP, you just can't risk it, you know? And then that despair rune's pretty close to the rune I rolled earlier, but not as good. Not as good. Nope on all of those. I can't wait to get one of those just juicy violent slot 6s. That's gonna be the good stuff. Those are all no's. 5 left. See, that tolerance slot 3 is 2 off max with speed and HP, but you can't risk it. You can't even really buy it. Even if you wanted to risk it, you couldn't buy it. So there's a nice little will slot 1, but it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off max with some undesirable stat distribution. So not that I don't, if it was a perfect will rune, I might have to buy it even though it's still slot 1, but that was a far cry from perfect. Crit damage blade rune, always nice, but not statted correctly, unfortunately. And even then, that'd be a tough one. All right, final of the day. Ooh, that's a nice little will rune, but luckily it's the final one, so I don't have to think about it. It's 3, 4, 5 off max, but it has an innate, but it's a slot 3, and I just don't have a lot of these to burn. So we give it a try, right? We got to roll the 1 rune, which super cool. I'm pretty excited about it. So I hope that was interesting to you guys. I finally bought one. I don't think I will probably post rolling these unless I actually buy something in the future, because you know, it's happening a lot and I don't think my philosophy is going to change much. So just refer back to previous videos if you want to see my thoughts on that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.